All right, and welcome to the TSG Multimedia video podcast for November 1st, 2013. This is John sitting here with
Dan,
as usual, and we're looking at a Burlington Northern Caboose HO scale. I recognize that, and This looks like the one I've seen this before, but it looks like it's done now.
Yeah, this is. I think I had this on the podcast before when it was still not finished.
Yeah, I think you were showing how you were modifying stuff, and I seem to remember something about the bars and all that stuff back here.
Yeah, this is actually one of our podcast subscribers, I think, actually asked to see it, and I didn't even realize that we hadn't had it on as a finished model. So, in any case, it started out as an Atlas wide vision caboose that was undecorated, and I had to do quite a lot of work to it to turn it into a fairly prototypical model of a BN caboose, because there was a lot of things about the Atlas caboose that weren't really correct.
Mm-hmm.
So this has a lot of modifications on it. So I don't know where to start. I guess we can start at the end. Yeah, I did do quite a lot of work. For one thing, the steps in the Atlas caboose is a two-step design. So I used, I think it's Molokos, or I guess that's the way you say it. They have a step kit for the caboose, and I put their step kit on this, so it now has the correct 3 steps. And I also used a extended coupler pocket from Details West, which actually required some surgery on the base of the model to sort of embed this in the floor so that the coupler height would come out correct.
Yeah, I think that's what we were showing.
Yeah, I think I showed that before. The ends are pretty extensively reworked also. I kept the original brake wheel stand from the original caboose, but all of this bracing and hand grabs and all this stuff was all fabricated from brass wire.
Didn't you change the chain on it too?
Yeah, that little piece of chain is, I think it's Builders and Scale makes that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that because I thought the other one was too thick or something.
Yeah, and I'd pretty much totally destroyed the original end railings because they weren't the right design. I also reworked this upper part up here so it had the more correct contour, because it was a different design on the original caboose and it wasn't right for BN.
There was a window that you moved or took out too, wasn't there?
I took out a lot of windows. There was this originally had 2 windows, one on either side of the door, so I got rid of one of those. I added the uncoupling levers and the grab irons here, and this light actually works. I'll show that a little later, but this is an LED fiber optic combination, so that the LED's inside and it shines through the lens. So speaking of windows, the sides of the original caboose actually had windows in them too, and this particular caboose had no windows, so I filled in all of those and with sheet styrene, and puttied and sanded until you couldn't see the holes anymore. And these are new grab irons. I think I put new nut bolt washer castings on there because the original ones were in not quite the right place, and I moved them. The cupola also was too short, so I actually added about 6 scale inches of material to the bottom to make it higher.
All right.
I also fabricated these little grab irons on the sides of the roof, and this one on the top of the cupola. I added some underbody detail here. This is sort of a simplified brake rigging setup. It's not really designed to try to win any contests, but it's just designed to look good from the side when the model's on the track. So most of this is just bits of plastic and brass piping, and I think I used some of the original brake components, but slightly rearranged. And I equipped it with Athearn Genesis caboose trucks because these have the electrical pickup already taken care of, and I wanted to put a decoder in it. Plus they also have the can see this, the little generator on one of the trucks was already modeled, so I didn't have to add that. I relocated the chimney stack thing here also on one of these ends, I forget which one, might have been the one in the back here, but one of these roof panels was blank, so I actually had to create these designs.
The whole triangle thing, I remember that.
Yeah, on one of the panels I had to create that because the BN Caboose had that. Then of course these original windows were more rectangular, and the BN ones are more squared. So I completely redid those, made new window frames. They're actually detailed. The frames are detailed with Archer decal rivets.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I cut my own custom window glazing to go inside. Added the little antenna. I also added these wind deflectors, same type of you sometimes see on locomotives, on each side of the windows. So yeah, it's quite a lot of modifications. So
I can see the red lights on already.
yeah, this has a TCS Fleetlighter 4 FL4 decoder in it. So there's actually 4 lights in the model, and I can control all of them independently. So there's a red light on both ends. So this is on the. I guess this is the back end of the Caboose. I'm not sure. It's the one that the cupola is closer to. Anyway, but I have another function key assigned to the red light on the other end. So whichever way it's facing, you can have the red light on in the rear of the train. And then I also have there's little spotlights, and I'm not sure what they were used for, honestly, but near the little window on the side, wrong button, I don't know if you can see that come on or not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious.
But those are all done with fiber optics and LEDs. I did also install, there's no interior in the Caboose, but I did install some plastic, just sheet styrene as light baffles so that you can't see through the Caboose.
Yeah, light leaks aren't good.
Yeah, and so you don't see the light, any light leaks from the LEDs inside. I didn't bother with an interior because it's so hard, because there's no windows, it's really hard to see inside anyway, so I didn't figure it was really worth it. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out, although it was such a lot of work, I don't know that I'd want to do it again.
I don't think I would.
Yeah. I think, honestly, I would probably look for a bargain brass Caboose on eBay. And because if you factor in all the time I spent on this, I think I'd actually probably come out ahead doing it that way.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Not that I'd necessarily need a lot of Burlington Northern Cabooses, but, if I wanted another one, I'd probably do that.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right. Well, we'll be back with our audio podcast on November 15th. That's my birthday, so if you want to send birthday cards and money, you can do so.
Yeah.
And
happy birthday, John.
Yeah, thank you. I'm 29 again. And of course, you can always check out our video podcast again on December 1st. And we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks.